Hello, my name is Sean Ennis from Ennis Management, and thank you for joining me here today on the Creative Collective. And today I'm joined by a very special guest, producer and songwriter, a member of the pop producing trio Psalms from Birmingham, UK, RyLT.
Hi.
So, talk to me about the music scene in the UK.
I think it's a really diverse music scene. I think the people in the UK like a wide range of music from pop music to kind of rock and indie, all the way to kind of like hip-hop styles as well. So it's a super diverse music scene. I think the same as kind of in the US, really, on a global level. You know, people either want to break into the US and become popular there, or they want to break into the UK. So I think like both the US and the UK are super like big points countries where people want to kind of make it.
Yeah, definitely. I know it's pretty much every artist's goal to do some touring overseas. But I almost feel like here in the U.S. there's a little bit less diversity in terms of music genres. Like right now, we have hip hop, which is big, pop music, which is big, rock and roll, which is really big. And those, I would kind of say, are really the primary genres. And of course, there's different, different subcategories in each of those different genres. But I would say in the UK, you guys have quite a bit more diversity in terms of different genres of music.
Yeah. I think the one thing with the UK, we're kind of really big on like music from all over the world. So there's people that are still massively big fans of Caribbean music like reggae, dancehall, and Afro beats are really popular in the UK at the moment as well. And on like South American music, so like reggaeton and Brazilian bass and stuff like that, also really big. So there's a really kind of diverse scene in the UK. Obviously the same as the US. Like, you know, our chart music, pop music is still really big. Kind of hip hop and it is really big as well, and rock music. But yeah, we definitely have like more diversity with other world, like stars of world music as well.
And that must offer you as an artist and a producer quite a lot of creative freedom.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's one of the things that I kind of take on board with my productions and songwriting, because the UK, and especially the city that I'm from, Birmingham, is very like multicultural. I like kind of taking influences and elements of the different cultures that are from like within my city. So I like to take elements of, like I say, Afro beats, a lot of South American stuff, and just kind of it kind of makes me want to look into things and look at the underground of what's going on in places like Brazil and Argentina, and in like areas of Africa like Angola and stuff like that, and then places like India as well, and kind of like take elements of that and get it into my productions.
Now, can you talk to me about how you got your start in music?
Yeah, I originally started in music when I was a teenager. I picked up a guitar and originally was playing in kind of rock bands for a few years. And then I slowly moved over to production after kind of recording bands and recording my own bands. I really kind of decided that I enjoyed working in the studio and kind of experimenting with sounds on a computer and seeing what I could come up with. I felt like I could push my music ideas a lot further that way. So that's kind of how I got into production, because I felt like I had more creative freedom than I did with just a guitar.
And what music or artists have had a big influence on you?
That's a good question. There's loads, really. I mean, I think like I'm a massive fan of dancehall music. I think growing up, artists like Sean Paul kind of really like got me interested in like music production more as well. And there's a massive kind of reggae scene in Birmingham. A lot of kind of reggae bands from like the 80s and 90s kind of came from Birmingham. So a lot of people are massive fans of like kind of Caribbean and Jamaican music. And then I think after getting into like Sean Paul, I kind of started looking more into that kind of style of stuff. And then really got into producers like Winter James, who's worked with artists like Protégé and stuff like that. And I got to like meet him last year, which was really cool. So yeah, I'd definitely say that kind of those sort of artists and producers kind of got me into where I am now. And then I guess like other artists would be people like Major Lazer. I kind of really like how they mix things up and mix styles up and create really cool sounds and push sounds further than most artists and producers do.
How would you describe your music?
I think for me, any music that I work on, I think one aspect that's important, whatever style it is I like to kind of mix a pop element into it. So I might be working on a EDM track, but rather than having a kind of really long EDM song, I kind of like to shorten it down and have a kind of like a pop structure to it to kind of make it a little bit different from other tracks. The same goes for when I've worked with hip-hop artists. I kind of like to mix different elements into it that kind of make it stand out a bit more. So I've been working, at the moment I'm working on an EP for one of my own projects where I'm working with different rappers from around the world. So I'm working with a Brazilian rapper who's rapping in Spanish, and we're kind of taking elements of like Brazilian and like Latin trap music and kind of mixing it with like other styles of hip hop and stuff like that, just to kind of get a bit of a different sound. So I think I always look for something that kind of sticks out a little bit and is a bit different.
Wow, that's really incredible. And how did you link up with this artist?
Through the internet, so Facebook, Instagram is kind of how I discover a lot of artists. And then sometimes I'll discover artists through Spotify as well, and find out their social media links and kind of contact them through that. So with this artist, I think it was on Instagram where I discovered him, and I just sent him a message. We got talking. He was really interested in the project, and I guess the rest is history, really.
Now, talk to me about your group Psalms. How did you guys come together?
We came together originally. I was working on a track and I was looking for a singer, and one of my friends knew Nicole and knew that she was looking for different projects to work on. So they kind of like hooked us up, got us into a room together. I showed her the track, we worked on it, and then I just really enjoyed the experience. And then we ended up working on another track, and then we kind of decided, like, let's just do a project together. And then we decided after that, someone that we were also mutual friends with, Sam, we thought we'd get him on board as well. So we had like kind of two producers working together, and yeah, it's been really fun working with them. We just enjoyed working together initially, and then we decided, yeah, we should like definitely take this like more serious. And then we started kind of releasing music about 2 years ago.
And so let's talk about the song "Touch Your Body."
Yeah, so that was the second song that we released, and it was kind of the song where we knew more what our sound was. We'd experimented a lot, and with that, I think we kind of really got things right with it. We kind of crossed over styles of Afro beats. We had a little bit of reggaeton elements in there as well, but again, we kind of pushed that kind of pop element over it, and it just seemed to work really well. It got a really good response in the UK. We got played nationally on radio. We gained a lot of fans through it, and off the back of it we ended up getting a lot of slots at festivals in the UK, which was really good. So yeah, we had a really good response, and it kind of turned the project around and kind of made us push things further and kind of take more risks with the music that we make.
What's the experience like hearing your music on the radio?
Yeah, it's a really bizarre experience. I think especially when you're not expecting it as well. There's been times when I've been driving in my car, and then like one of my songs has been played on the radio whilst I'm driving. It is a bit of a surreal experience, but it's very like, it makes you feel very, very proud and kind of blessed that people, producers at radio stations and presenters are into the music and want to promote your music that you're creating.
Now, talk to me about the song "What About Me."
Okay, so "What About Me" is Sam's latest release. In fact, it was released today. We've worked really hard on this track. We wanted to try something a little bit different again with it. We wanted to kind of take elements of hip-hop and R&B, so kind of producers like DJ Mustard and Nick Nack, I guess like artists like Chris Brown and that kind of West Coast hip-hop kind of sound, but again kind of mixing it with those kind of R&B and pop elements. So again, it was something kind of different for us to try out. And again, like, it's only been out for a day, but it's already received a great response from online magazines, blogs. It's already had several plays on radio in our city, across different radio stations. I think we've already hit over 1,000 plays on it on Spotify, which is great for it only being out for one day. So we're just really excited to see where this song goes.
Wow, that's incredible that it's gotten such tremendous response in one day.
Yeah. We're really pleased with how well it's gone. I mean, we've worked hard with our team to kind of get the marketing right for it. but we feel like the hard work that we've put into it is definitely already showing, and we're hoping that it continues to progress and develop.
Can you talk about some of the other career highlights you've experienced in your music career?
Yeah, I think some were definitely last year. Some of the festivals that we got to play, that I played last year, were amazing. We got to be one of the main support artists at a festival, playing to over 7,000 people, which was an amazing experience to see that many people dancing and enjoying your music. So that was definitely a massive highlight for me. Another highlight as well, there's a radio station in the UK that's really big, called BBC Radio, and we got to play on one of their introducing stages. So for new up and coming acts, they really like to support new music, and they put us on one of their like new act stages at the festival, which was really great fun. And we got a great response from the audience, and yeah, I think just being in that kind of environment with people enjoying what you're doing kind of makes you enjoy it even more. And I think then at the end of the year, like one of our biggest highlights was we played a show in our hometown, Birmingham, and we managed to sell it out. So it was our first kind of headline show that we'd sold out. So we felt really kind of proud that we'd managed to build up a following to be able to sell out our own kind of independent headline show.
Wow, I mean, that is tremendous. I want to go back for a little bit. Can you sort of describe the experience performing live in front of 7,000 people? Because I don't think a lot of musicians get to experience something like that.
Yeah, it is a crazy experience. I think for me, like, before we went on stage, it was obviously it was an open air performance, so it was outdoors. So we were behind hidden behind these barriers behind the stage, but like you could peek through the barriers and seeing all those people. I think I was just like full of nervous energy before we went on stage, and it was kind of like having to take a moment for myself to kind of calm down. But then once you're up there and people are responding to your music in a positive way, it's like for me the best feeling in the world, because all that kind of hard work that you put in and all those hours that you're in the studio writing and producing music and rehearsing for performances, to then be in that position and have that many people enjoying it completely makes everything worth it.
Now, I live here in the United States, and even I'm familiar with BBC Radio. So can you talk about how you got the opportunity to work with them?
When we released our first song, there's on their website you can upload your music for them to check out, and with our first release they really liked it. They played it quite a few times, and then when we released Touch Your Body, the two presenters on the show in our region, so it's not just like Birmingham, but it's like loads of cities that are together, I guess kind of like similar to like a state in America. So they really liked it, the presenters on that show, and they were playing it like on a weekly basis, and then they did an interview with us, so we kind of got really friendly with the presenters and the producers for like our region, and then we did like a live acoustic performance for them, which went out live on air as well. And then from that we just kind of built up a really good positive relationship with them, and yeah, I think they put us forward for that festival, just because they really enjoy what we're doing, and like I say, we've kind of ended up becoming friends in a way.
Wow, that's incredible. Let me ask you, how important is a strong online presence for your music career?
I think a strong online presence is probably one of the most important things for an artist now. I think with how the music industry's changed, you know, if you go back 20 years, when there wasn't things like Spotify, and people really had to kind of rely on record labels to sign them to release their music and get it into shops for you to have success, whereas now anyone can put their music up on Spotify and other platforms. So I think whereas before the labels helped you get the fans, I think now you kind of have to build your own fan base. So, you know, Instagram and Facebook and other sites like TikTok, I think they're super important to engage with your audience and build up that fan base yourself.
Can you talk to me about the joys and challenges of songwriting?
Yeah, I think it's quite bittersweet. I think sometimes you can work on a song and it just all comes together really organically and just happens and you can get it done in one session. Like the initial song, and then just a few sessions on producing it. And then there can be some songs where it just takes ages to get something working and to get it right. So I think it's kind of overcoming those kind of barriers that you face with songs, and learning to kind of take a break. And, you know, if something's not going somewhere, give it a few days, see where you can take it then when you've got fresh ideas. I think for me this is one of the reasons I'm a really big fan of collaborating with people. If I'm struggling with a song, I will definitely pass it over to other songwriters and artists that I work with to see where they'd take it, because then it gives me more ideas to kind of work on. So I think collaboration is like key to kind of songwriting and producing.
And to kind of build on that, could you describe your music making process?
Yeah, I think for me, like it depends on the situation. If I'm producing a song for another artist, sometimes it'd be the case that the song's already been written, so I'll kind of get sent over like the recorded vocals and maybe like a guitar track or like a piano track with the chords, and then I'll kind of produce the track around the vocals, which in that case I'll be given kind of a brief and like, oh, we want it to sound similar to this like artist and or these songs. So then I'll just listen to those songs, think of the elements that would work with the song that I've been sent, and then kind of add my own little spin on it. But then if I'm writing something fresh, it's kind of a case of like with Psalm, for example, we'll get into the studio together and we'll just sit at the piano or with the guitar, and I'll have my laptop as well, and we might just start with some chord ideas and then start writing like the vocal lines, and then kind of get a song together and start producing around that. And then there's been other times though where I've kind of started writing a beat, and Nicole, the singer's like, oh, I really like this, and she has ideas for it straight away. So it can be very like varied. I don't have like a strict formula, which I think works really well for me, because it gives me variety and keeps me inspired and keeps me pushing myself. Because I think if I did the same thing every time, I'd probably get bored of it. It wouldn't feel as creative and free for me.
What inspires you to make music?
I think for me, like that, like I was saying earlier, that feeling of when you're playing on stage and you've got that, you're full of all this positive energy and excitement and kind of nervousness. It's kind of the same when I'm creating music, and I think like I like that feeling of taking risks and being creative and having fun. And when you're in the studio with people and you're writing something and you know instantly that you're onto something really good, there's just this really good positive energy and this excitement in the room that I don't think I can recreate with anything else.
What kind of music is your favorite to perform?
I think that like completely depends, because like I DJ as well, so there's sometimes, I guess it's like when people want to listen to music, we don't always listen to the same music. I think it's the same when I'm playing. I really enjoy performing with Psalms because when we play live, we have like other musicians play with us, so we have like a live drummer and we have like backing singers and stuff like that, and it's really cool kind of bringing more electronic music in a kind of more like band setting. So I really kind of enjoy that and pushing that and kind of making it more organic and live sounding. But then when I'm DJing, yeah, sometimes I have like real good fun like doing like hip hop sets, and then other times I think one of the things I really enjoy is like doing like dancehall kind of sets and Afrobeat sets and all that sort of stuff. It's music that I really enjoy. So kind of being in a club or at a festival doing like a dancehall set, I think it's really fun.
What do you value more, creativity or perfect execution?
Creativity all the time. I think I kind of learned when I first started producing, it was taking me ages to finish songs off because I was always trying to make them perfect. Whereas now I kind of know that a song, it doesn't matter how much I work on it, it's never going to be perfect. There's always something I could do and change and improve on. I think it's capturing that creative moment and building on it, and yeah, just capturing the moment and being in that moment of creativity is far more important to me.
What are your music career goals?
I think one of the big ones to me is longevity. So I don't want to just be doing this for the next few years. It's definitely something that I want to do until the day I die. So definitely being around and still producing and writing and working with artists and performing is something that I want to do for a long time. That's really important to me. Then other goals, I definitely would like to start building up further and working with even bigger artists when I'm producing. And then with my own projects, I'd like to get to a stage where we can build up a big enough following to be able to get into the charts, and just have people enjoying our music and being able to do it, all the time.
What's a piece of advice that you could give for an artist or producer who's just starting out in their music career?
I think an important thing is for me is like just realize that everyone has their own path, and there might be producers and other artists that you know who are further than you in their career, but that's not a bad thing, because we all have our own paths, and we shouldn't kind of judge ourselves on where other people are, and you should just focus on you and keep pushing to achieve your goals.
That's really great advice. Can you share your social media links?
Yeah, so for Psalms, it is, for Instagram, it is @PsalmsOfficial, and for Facebook, it is @OfficialPsalms, and then my own producing Instagram is @RyLT.
Is there anyone you'd like to acknowledge for offering you financial or emotional support in your music career?
I think I'm very lucky in the sense that my family have always been super supportive of me deciding to have a career in music. My partner as well, she's super supportive in what I do. So I think that's really important for anyone that wants to work in the creative industry, whether it's music or acting or whatever. I think having a good support network around you of friends and family and like your partner as well really helps, because you know it can be hard at times, and we all struggle and have ups and downs. So having that kind of support network, I think is really important, and the team of people that like are around Sam. So our manager, he's a massive help to us as well. So I'd definitely like to give a shout out to Josh.
Is there anything else you would like to promote or share?
Yeah, I think that the best thing is, you know, with people wanting to check out Psalms and our production stuff, like definitely if you're into R&B, pop and hip-hop, then you should definitely check out our new release, What About Me? It's available on Spotify, Apple Music and YouTube.
All right, I would like to give a very big thank you to my guests for joining me here today on the Creative Collective. As always, write your comments below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video. And for all of your promotion, marketing, as well as music career consulting needs, email ennisproductions@gmail.com.